for a second. So
Yeah, yeah, that's good. I know it's really hard. Um, I think we might be live, but I'm
it
not
says this
for a
meeting is
second.
being
So
live streamed.
yeah, yeah, that's good.
Oh, I
I know
see
it's
YouTube
really
in the
hard.
corner. Uh-huh.
Um, I think we might be live.
We are live.
Okay. Yay. It's
We
working.
are live. You did it.
You know what's weird is that you can kind of see yourself in another, well, for me, in like the YouTube section or side of it versus the Zoom side of it. Sorry, folks. Welcome. Happy Friday. Welcome to Unmuted. Um, no, that's really neat. Okay, well, we'll just have to test more and more and more. Um, welcome to Unmuted, like I said. We're here.
Thank you for the invitation.
I know, I'm so excited that you're here with us. Kirsten Allen, the beautiful, the wonderful, the none other than. Before we dive in, though, I want to tell folks who haven't joined us before what Unmuted is all about.
Hmm.
It's a space I created for female leaders, and I use the word leader in the sense of we are all a leader. I've had that conversation a lot lately with folks of saying, I can't participate in this conversation because I'm not a leader. And I'm like, yes, you are. Who told you you were not a leader?
Absolutely.
Right? And so I think we just have, we've been so socialized to have specific definitions of what a leader is or what leadership means. And that's what this conversation's all about, actually. So, Unmuted is really a space for females, women business owners, women executives, women leading in many spaces of life. So, really happy to be here. Really happy to have Kirsten, and happy to be on YouTube. That's a like a total progression for me, the non-tech queen here. Um, but my trusty project manager, Kevin, helped me make it happen. So,
You're better than me, so
oh no, let's not compare. No, no. The other thing is I am the founder and chief strategist of Page Capacity Builders. I always forget to say that because I love Unmuted so much. But Page Capacity Builders is a social impact strategy firm where we focus on consulting and coaching. So I work with a lot of folks around the country in the nonprofit, philanthropic, and government spaces. Kirsten is all about that because we've partnered so many times over the years. Um,
our journeys have been interesting and wonderful.
and always changing, right? But I think that's a part of the growth. I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard, but I think those hard times really help us grow so much. If you're joining us, test out the chat. I wonder if I can see it. I'm not really 100% if I linked it right. We should be able to see your comments in the chat. If not, I apologize in advance and I'll get that sorted out. But it would be really fun to know who is joining us and from where. Um, it's fun when we have folks all over the world. I don't know if I told you this, Kirsten, but we've had folks from Italy
Oh,
and
wow.
Berlin and Africa and Canada, um, and the United States all over. So it's been a lot of fun to see where people have been joining from. So put that in the chat and we'll see if I can see it. Um, and without further ado, Kirsten, I'm going to hand it over to you to give you some space to chat and share about you before we dive into these questions I've been asking everybody.
Yes. Hello, everyone. I am so excited that Paige asked me to participate into her podcast. She is all things network, all things bubbly. So yes, this is absolutely right up her alley. I am Kirsten Allen. I am also a founder of a consulting company, Brazen Consulting and Accounting, that focuses on, well, at least my portion focuses on strategy, implementation, project management, all the things for philanthropic organizations just like Paige, which is why we have collaborated so many times over the years. And the experience has been beautiful. Just in like our little space, our little circle that we've created locally, we all collaborate with each other a lot, and it's been a beautiful compliment to the work. I've
Mhm.
been consulting for about almost 10 years now, full time, 5 years, although I just took a position at a local institution, which I'm really proud of because it's definitely going to be a stretch for me as far as like just thinking about capital development, using P3s to provide investments and impacts within communities. So it is definitely work that I have not chartered into that territory yet, so it's definitely going to be a learning curve for me, but I'm up for the challenge. And like I said, I'm just excited to be here today. I'm going to try to stay focused because I hear baby just screaming in the background. A good scream, not a bad
So
scream,
should
but
we tell everyone? She,
oh
I
yeah, I did just have a baby, you guys. Well, not just had a baby, but kind of just had a
well, I mean,
5 months
basically,
ago. He's 5 months today.
that's
We were
oh
singing
my
happy
goodness.
birthday.
And
Yeah,
today's Good Friday. I saw you mention that.
it
Um,
went by really fast.
5 months. Yes,
Five
it
months.
did. Yeah,
And
and
my
that's
kids are
still,
17 years apart, y'all.
yeah, I
That's
was gonna say the other thing is
life.
that she also has like an adult child.
Life is wild. I have one graduating high school, and then I have
Mhm.
and
Big
then I
stages
have
of
it.
life for both of your children, actually, right now.
I am very, very bipolar.
And look at you. You're juggling a consulting business, you're juggling a household, and you also just secured a new job at what I know to be a very wonderful institution in Baltimore City. People
Absolutely.
are
Shout out to
having
Hysa. She is an amazing leader.
people are having such a hard time, with employment, and so it just really speaks to your skills and abilities and how amazing you are.
No, you know what really speaks to? It speaks to relationships.
Yeah,
Because if I
well,
had to be on Indeed filling and sending
yeah,
resumes,
but if you did not have the skills,
I
you would
mean, that
not have
too,
the
that too. I
business.
will not take away. Sometimes we gotta
And
making
relationships,
ourselves
that is
small.
a skill.
Yeah.
Sometimes people don't realize that, and that's like a muscle you have to actually exercise to be able to use.
Consulting brought me here, volunteering, being in community, being a grassroots girly, building, those skill sets, utilizing and understanding the value of my own lived experience. And
Hmm.
that's how, I got here. I
Yeah,
saw a gap and me and Hyuk, we talked about it and you can create what isn't there. That position was not there. She was not looking
amazing.
for a director of strategy and integration.
I love that.
We created that out of need.
I was going to say, obviously needed.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I've actually been seeing roles like that, like when I'm on LinkedIn, I
Hmm.
see roles like that pop up a lot recently around strategy.
Yeah.
Um, and it warms my heart very, very much
Yeah.
because
We
it
love a good
breaks my
strategy.
heart when people don't have documented strategy. I'm like, yay, they're going to hire somebody. This is fantastic.
Hmm.
Because it's hard. And when you've been hired to do something very specific, which most of us are, strategy is like this really nebulous,
Absolutely.
intangible thing sometimes. And it's hard to like feel as though you have to stop your work and focus on something that doesn't feel connected to it. But
And something that tends to shift when you get to where you think you need to get to. It's like,
exactly.
yeah,
Yes. Well, should we dive into our questions?
let's go.
All right, let's do this. And it's not rapid fire by any means. Okay, our first question. What is a mindset shift that you've had along your leadership journey?
I really had to sit with this for a second. Because, we started this conversation off with, so many people not considering themselves to be a leader and,
Yes.
not even accepting the call to participate on the show. And I
Mhm.
think it was, for me, I didn't consider myself to be leader or leader for a long time, but as I step into that mindset fully, it's really thinking about create how to create space for others because the space was created for me, and I don't think that I would have been able to achieve as much as I have had I not created that community around me that like saw the value, lifted it up, and was like, Kirsten, I think, this is an opportunity for you. So I really think like creating the space for others now that I have the opportunity to do so
Mm-hmm.
has been a real mind shift because I mean, we should be thinking about paying it forward,
Mm-hmm.
um, and not being afraid because oftentimes like I operated in fear, which isn't always a bad thing. That's just something I do personally. I do things scared. It just is what it is. Um,
I don't think I knew that about you. You're so
um,
bold and like
you
doing things
know,
and making it happen
I
that
love
I
the
didn't realize
definition
that.
of brazen.
Yeah.
Bold and without shame. It's
Yeah.
like literally tattooed on my arm.
Yeah.
But it's really a reminder because I do the things fearful a lot.
Yeah.
And just learning not to wait for permission or an invitation. So now that sit in these spaces, now that I have these opportunities to really be creating spaces for others,
I love
champion
that.
them to let them know, like,
Yeah.
no, you got this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of self-doubt, especially for young females, entering the workplace or shifting in the workplace or just like in the workplace and young, not as much experience. And so opening those doors for them, that's huge. Um, and I mean, I always like selfishly, it fills my cup.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's really rewarding for the other person. Even just inviting someone to an event,
Yeah,
even just sharing, hey, I saw this virtual training that's happening and thought of you. Um, those are really low-hanging fruit ways that folks can, extend that, open that door, open that window. And then we know the more intentional ways because we've experienced it. You're right. And it is a beautiful thing. I don't think I would have gotten anywhere without that. Um, Others like opening those doors for me.
absolutely not. And sometimes this work, especially when you are working as an independent consultant, it can get isolating, which is
Mhm.
why I promote collaboration so much and it just being a part of my secret sauce because it becomes somewhat paralyzing to be alone and always, second guessing and doubting and all the things. So
Hmm.
just being able and oftentimes being the only one in a room, whether it's being young, whether it's being female, whether it's being a young Black female, it's been a thing throughout my journey. So
Hmm. Yeah, for sure. So much to say there. Okay, our second question. What is a risk that you've taken? And this could be career or personal, whatever, in your life that changed everything for you. Just one.
just one. Let me
Your
push my
face.
spectacles on. Just one. When I was thinking about like you really had me thinking deep with these
I'm
questions,
sorry.
right?
Was supposed to be
So no,
relaxing.
it's not a good thing because sometimes we often don't even get the space to like reflect.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
true.
so when I thought about it, I could only, well, not only, but the first thing that came to my mind was like, you know how it's like New Year and we think about themes for the year.
Mhm.
So I always like see what God is telling me, what He wants to move me
Mhm.
into for the year. And a
Yeah.
couple years ago, I had like the theme of the year was like no. Like what's the worst that somebody could tell me? And it was no. And it was really stepping out of trying to operate or at least being led by fear. Um,
Hmm.
so that changing moment and the risk that I took. So it was this organization that said they wanted to invest in Black leadership and consulting.
Hmm.
And they happened to be a client of mine. And I was like, all right, we're going to see if you really about what you're talking about, right? So at that time, I wanted to get my PMP certification.
I remember
I
this
wanted
one.
to go to this conference in Atlanta, and I wanted to go and do the boot camp with this woman. She did boot camp to help you get your PMP because it
Hmm.
was it was a beast to get. Not
Hmm.
unachievable, folks, but it was it was
I
definitely
remember
an
you going through that. It was really intense.
it was really intense being so
Yeah.
many years removed from school. I mean, like
Yeah.
flashcards while I was in the gym intense, like working out and studying at the same time.
But you did it. And you
I
still went to the
I did it.
gym.
I
And
did
you-
it. It was not an easy feat, but I did it. But it was like, entrepreneurs, we have challenges as far as like professional development, right? And being able to reinvest in yourself because by the time you pay all the things that tech, like you don't
Yep.
have any money left over for that, right? So I was like, what
Yeah.
is the worst that they could tell me? No, that was the risk I took. So I approached them. I said, this is what I would like to achieve. I gave them the value base. This is how it would, subsequently like be of value to the work that I do. Like I really didn't have to lay out the whole thing, but you should come right. You should come correct and present the
Yeah.
thing right. So I presented to them what I wanted to do, and they were like, all right, let's figure out how we can get it done. They had to reconfigure my contract in a way that allowed for it.
Hmm.
And it wasn't even the resource that really made that moment magical. It was like just the confirmation that the opportunity is there. If you get the right people who understand the thing that are really um, passionate and are really dedicated to like equity and investing and moving resources that aren't theirs that they can earmark and move to certain things. Like if you have that recipe right there, anything can happen. And I had the perfect recipe and shouts out to those ladies. They know who they are. Um, who made that happen for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a total risk. And I mean, I always tell my kids you can't win the lotto if you don't play the numbers.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, and that big, the other thing too is like, what's the worst someone can say? Is usually no. Might be a little embarrassing. It might be a hit to your pride. It might
Hmm.
be
Hmm.
many things. But, when you're laser focused, and especially, where you were at in that moment, with your business and being laser focused on that, taking those risks is really important. I feel like they're calculated risks.
Absolutely. It opened up a world of possibilities because I was
Yeah,
like, now I know that this could be done.
right.
And this wasn't like, a small this was like a large foundation, right? So it's like I know that you all can get creative in your investing because it's not even grant making and you're investing
Right.
um in just humans and people that are contributing to your overall daily work anyway. So,
Yeah. And again, going back to like relationships,
oh yeah,
and how relational our work is. Um, yeah.
it
So,
happened because of.
yeah. Yep. I love that. And I know exactly the project you're talking about. And it was impactful, I mean, this stuff's big.
Yeah.
Impactful in a lot of ways. Um, all right, our last question. What is a leadership norm that you've chosen to unlearn?
Oh, you're already like you started with this as well. I was like, Paige, you're taking my answer. I need you to be quiet, okay? Um, it was easy, like that you had to thinking about what a leader is and
Oh,
what you have to have and your
yeah.
certain level of achievement and education and experience. And it was like, no. Shouts out to our friend Danielle. Danielle,
She was on last week
who was on last
or
week.
2 weeks ago.
Danielle, this was like post Freddie Gray uprising. She saw me in East Baltimore, like in a little office, organizing like a whole bunch of community leaders. I was on my Malcolm at that time, organizing a whole bunch of community leaders, and she was like, Kirsten, this is consultant, right? And I was like, what is consultant? She's like, exactly what you're doing. People
Yeah.
pay you for it. Because I'm
Yeah.
sitting at this table, like, just spent so many years doing the thing for free. And it was, that's not to say like you have to get paid for everything or every
Yeah.
experience, but
Yes.
your knowledge and your lived experience does have value. It
Yes.
does not have to mean that you have to have some, certificate or you need some degree in order to make impact and change. It was simply that I knew my neighborhood. I knew the people in it. I had amazing relationships. I had some, organizing and strategy skill sets in between, but it was just like, I was good at the relationship piece. And there was some trust because my integrity means a lot to me. So community members understood that and, they were drawn to me for those reasons. And it just really, consulting really helped to shift my mindset. And I think in turn, it's helping as I translate and what the work means to me, um, and how I see myself providing impact to the communities that I
Hmm.
serve now. It looks a little different. I may not be as on the ground as I typically am, but
Hmm.
able to be called upon to allocate the resources
Right.
or to create the strategy around how to invest in this neighborhood or how to invest in this particular area. So I may not be at, all the back to school rallies anymore. I may not be doing the programs at the local rec centers like I typically have done for a number of years. But when Annie Casey calls and they're like, we have $12 million, we need to figure out how to strategize and get this money into communities, I can say, I know exactly where it needs to go and I know the hands that it needs to get into.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. And I mean, that is like a really, really special skill. Um, I learned that from you and Danielle and a few other folks in my Baltimore tribe. I mean, I don't think that I realized when I was learning that how lucky I was going to be and how, like like how lucky I am to have
Hmm.
been educated in my professional life that operating that way is the norm.
Hmm.
And not just like in consultants, like, hey, like people pay for your lived
Hmm.
like that, what we were talking about, but also when we're called upon to do strategy work for community, we're able to then be a voice and say, pause, have you considered your compensation model for community? Have you considered if you're going to be engaging community and doing a focus group or bringing people together, how are you going to compensate that for their time and their, I like to say time and treasure, right?
Hmm.
Um, I think that often gets forgotten, and I think we've had that orientation from so many different angles. It is really just like the norm that you would consider something like that, whether, it's a young like community activist working tirelessly, and not like you said, you still do a ton of volunteer work. You still do a ton of community-based work that is pro bono. That's not what we're talking about.
Hmm.
We're talking about more on the level of exploitation, right?
Correct.
Really exploiting people's lack of perhaps a more formal credential, like a PhD, like from an institution of higher education, right? That we are
Correct.
socialized to associate with leader, or whatever. Um, I mean, I only have my bachelor's degree. I never got, and I remember
Hold on,
being
I'm gonna pause you. You don't only have you have a bachelor's,
I have a bachelor's
you
degree.
have a bachelor's
But
degree.
I sat in board meetings early in my career where people definitely tried to intimidate me. And unfortunately, several times those were other women,
Hmm.
because we're also socialized that way to compete with one another and told that that's how we feel when I believe a lot of us do not feel that way. Um, but yeah, I remember being asked one time, I think this was my very first board meeting ever. And I was in my early 20s and I was new in the role. And she said, "And what do you have your master's in?" And so it was very embarrassing to be put on the spot as a
Yeah,
new, in front of like, people who were very important in my mind. Um, and that was quite a moment for me in my journey of, I mean, what was I going to say? I certainly wasn't going to lie. And I had to stand my ground and be okay with it.
absolutely.
And I was. And that
I'm
taught me a lot. taught me a ton, and how comfortable I felt being okay with who I was.
Yeah.
Um, and I flourished at that organization, you know. So
I operate in fear. However, no, I do have a little spiciness to me. Like,
yes.
if I didn't have a master's degree, my lived experience would be enough.
Hmm.
And I mean, that is like, it took a second to get there to stand in that confidence. So let me not just make it seem like I'm just entering the room and just, hey, here it is.
Yeah.
Um, that took some work to
Hmm.
massage and get to. And when
Hmm.
I figured out, you know what, that is my secret sauce to the
Yeah,
work
that
that
is
I
it.
do.
Yeah, that is
I'm
it.
able to sit on both sides. I'm able to understand both perspectives, whether it's corporate or community. And
Hmm.
I'm able to like create those those bridges, whether
Hmm.
it's communication or strategy, to make it work. And
Yeah.
many people, even consultants, they only know like one side.
Hmm.
They aren't able to articulate to either.
Yep.
Um, so that's what I feel like my gift is. And it took me a long time to figure that out. It took
Yeah.
you, Danielle, Alicia, it took a lot of people around me to really like pull and bring that out and be able to identify like what makes Kirsten and her work unique. Um, why her? Why me? Why me in this work?
Hmm.
Um, so that's where I'm sitting today,
I
many,
just
many years later.
I love it because it just you took me back to one of your earlier comments, like about relationships,
Hmm.
you know, and I just to everyone out there, if folks are listening, hopefully people have joined. But it's real, through the power of relationships. I mean, through so many parts of this conversation, you were able to make things happen. And our work is not just relational, but the people we have around us to support us in growing and developing as a human. And whether you're a consultant or whatever you are, I just think is really, really critical. And so many of the things you said here today just go right back to that. Um, I'm so lucky to have you in my tribe. I always say tribe because it's like, I don't know, for me, that's like a special word where it's like a very close,
Hmm.
close group of people. Um, and we should all have that, and we all deserve to have that. And there are people out there who want to be that for you, and leaning into that. That's a whole leadership journey in itself, is learning how to lean into people and
Hmm.
let folks be a part of your tribe and really support you.
Because you are an anchor. Even when I try to drift off, you were like, hold on, we
We've
still got
had
things to do.
We've done a lot of things together and had a lot of fun over the years doing some really impactful work. And I won't forget any of that. It
You
always stays
can't,
with me.
especially not New York.
New York. New York was so fun.
Especially not New York.
Oh, yes, the stories of consulting and traveling. I don't think I told you that trip. I was supposed to go to see Green Day and Smashing Pumpkins, and then we booked that trip for the organization, and I was like, I can't go, so I didn't go to the concert.
No, I don't even remember that.
Yeah, very sad, very sad. Another time. But the things we do, the sacrifices we make,
Hmm. It was
yeah,
a great experience.
it was wonderful. I still think about those times. Well, I know we are at time and I want to respect your time and others. So we're going to close out here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Um, Thanks for coming over to YouTube. And we're not on LinkedIn anymore. Streaming will be on YouTube streaming. So make sure you subscribe also, because then it'll just come to you. You don't have to find it. But thank you. Have a beautiful weekend. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Thank you for the